Hiroshi's going to be taping, so if you have questions, make sure you speak up a little bit, and I'll try and repeat the questions. This is going to be sent out as a YouTube link tomorrow as soon as it gets posted and cleaned up a little bit. And I'll also email a PDF version of these slides. Further, on Friday morning, I'll email out to everybody a PDF of the aircraft order and also the final itinerary, so everybody will know exactly where they sit in line. There are always a couple of changes, even Friday evening or Saturday morning. I'll get calls from folks who forgot it was that day or whatever, and that's normal, not a big deal. But at least everybody will have the same sheet to make adjustments from on Saturday. So first I want to say thank you to a few folks. Randy from AirTrek North for hosting and donating this hangar, as well as Kurt from Modern Avionics. And also some logistical support with tables and coffee makers and all this stuff. Christy and Brad for volunteering their time and energy. Christy spends a lot of time. She does all the design, orders the t-shirts, everything. So make sure you grab your t-shirt tonight. If you didn't bring your $10, bring it on Saturday morning. She'll be out there to hand those out. She'll also be doing some pretty high-end photos on the ground down in Hutchinson as everybody comes in, and most likely some air-to-air stuff with what will end up probably being a 4-shift formation flight we have this year too, so kind of a nice treat. Hiroshi, as always, huge tech support and a ton of energy that goes into this. Phil Benjamin, who is finding out right about now that he's going to be helping a lot this year on Saturday morning, just like in previous years, so thanks, Bill. And Lydia Went, who usually helps as well, will probably be out there. Merle Marshall, who runs the airport here, field supervisor at Flying Cloud, is going to make sure we have a porta potty, which was my fault last year we didn't have. I apologize for that. It's not a smart thing with 100 pilots and passengers and 100 pot of coffee, so I apologize for that. We'll have that fixed this year. And Merle makes sure that the grass is mowed out there for us. He goes out of his way the week before the air tour so that we can use that space on Spring Lane. Flying Cloud Tower is always fantastic. So we always send them a letter ahead of time. They have a letter. They have a list of airplanes, no names, but they have a list of the airplanes that are currently signed up and planning to attend. And even the first year they were terrific, but they've gotten better and better every year. I think typically we launch an airplane about every 38 seconds on average is what they say the last few years. So they've been absolutely excellent. And then 12 years of really hard-working pilots who have been absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate all the work and prep. Showing up here tonight and folks watching the video tomorrow and Friday, getting prepared. Safety is obviously number one, and I won't put the word safety on every single slide, but these slides are designed around safety. What we do is designed for safety. So I really appreciate everything you folks have done for 12 years. I haven't counted how many airplanes I've flown, but we've averaged about 32 airplanes per air tour for 12 years now and hitting our 13th year. 42 airplanes signed up so far planning to participate. I'm guessing the final number will probably be in the upper 30s if it's a typical year. We usually drop a couple for dead batteries and whatever else the morning of. So thanks to everybody. What to bring on Saturday morning? Bring charts, bring diagrams. Print out the PDF that I will send you, not the PDF of these slides, that's just for reference and some reminders, but I'll send you the PDF of the itinerary. You don't have to print out all of the airport diagrams that I'll send you from the MnDOT Aeronautics Airport Directory. But print out the aircraft order, which will be probably the last 2 pages, and that's your spot in line. Will also come with an altitude on it. We've, how many folks have not flown on the air tour before, either as a passenger or pilot? All right, so you'll see altitudes assigned to you. Those altitudes are to be flown while on the flight. We've got all the airplanes staggered, no head start group this year. So we've got all the airplanes staggered from fastest to slowest. Typically begins with Peter Dahl, but no longer this year. He's downgrading to a Cessna. So fastest to slowest this year, and I think the T-34s will actually start. No, we have one A-36 Bonanza ahead of the T-34s. And then on down the list. So we've got Clint Sawinski in an A-36.
Oh, I've never done this before.
Go fast. Yeah, go like, I mean, you're gonna have to ask Kurt to adjust that problem.
The first one there, is that
you'll be
the best card?
So you'll get the first card, and you're also volunteering, much like Bill. You're finding out right now that you'll be volunteering. So that's a good thing.
I'll get a crew then.
So make sure you bring all the charts you want, sectional, terminal area chart, whatever you bring with for this. And airport diagrams will be pretty handy. We have some luxuries built in this year, which are pretty handy. A printed itinerary, the aircraft order, $10 for your shirt. Don't forget, $10 per poker hand. So if you're playing a poker hand as the pilot, but you've also got 3 passengers coming with you, and they each want to play a poker hand for an opportunity to win the grand prize. So the top hand, by the way, the highest hand the poker gets, all that stuff. That whole case of oil, that's an $80-some case of oil for those of you who own your own airplanes, do your own oil changes. A nice little medical kit to throw in the airplane, and a great passenger headset. You know, brand new. Air classes, ASA. So the more people you have in your cabin playing, the better your odds of winning all that good stuff. But it's $10 per person to help pay for all that stuff that I had to pay for yesterday. So break $10 per poker hand. We talked about the prizes and then lunch money. We're eating lunch at Cabela's. I think everybody's familiar with that. They have their own restaurant, soup, sandwich, salad, basic lunch. They're prepared for us. They know we're all coming. And they take major credit cards, so you don't have to worry about cash for that. We will have coffee, a restroom over on Spring Lane. Anybody planning on driving and needing to catch a ride? I know Brad, you've driven in the past, bring the box of shirts and things like that. If anybody's driving and needs the gate access code, it's on Charleston Lane over by those townhomes, just past C.H. Robinson. Send me an email, and anybody watching on YouTube, send me an email and I'll get you the code to get into that gate. I don't want to broadcast it to more folks.
Hey, Ben.
So, yeah.
Let me say something about the gate to get in.
Uh-huh.
It's not like all the rest of the gates on the airport. It's down on the road where you turn to come up.
Right.
So,
Yep. Also, anybody that needs to drive to the AirTour, don't drive through the north side gates and then drive across 2 parallel runways. You laugh. It's been done hundreds of times. Fortunately, not on the AirTour, but send me an email. I'll send you a map of where to go, which gate, and the gate code to access that. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Good point.
So is spring on the chart? I know it's hard to see on the deal.
Spring is not labeled on the chart. So here's a view of it. Perfect timing. Clint, you're fitting right in. Spring Lane is on that southwest side of the airport, the new hangar development area. Same place we've operated for the last couple of years. Since we've kind of expanded and can no longer use taxiways and modern avionics and executive ramps, we've been on Spring Lane. Same place. What we'll have everybody do is enter on the west side of Spring Lane. So when you call ground, 2 types of airplanes here. One is coming out of base tenant hangars probably on the north side, maybe a couple on the southwest side. When you call ground, say, I'm headed over to the AirTour, I'd like to go to Spring Lane. Ground control knows exactly where to send you. They're going to send you eventually on the Bravo and join kind of in that 6-acre run-up area we have down there on the southwest side of the airport. It's 5.5 So they'll have you enter on that side, and as you drift this way, you'll be waved into your parking spot. I'll also have a better view of this. I don't have any airplanes assigned yet because we've still got some kind of funneling in or filtering in. But I'll send this in the PDF I send to you with your aircraft order. This is one thing that was brought up by Peter Dahl last year, a great idea, so that people knew, based on their call signs, where they should plan on parking their airplane as we pull up. Because it's always kind of a mess and a zoo as everybody shows up at 8:30 in the morning getting ready to do the quick briefing and then taxi out. Calvin.
Instead of pulling over and parking on the grass.
Yeah.
My
Wheels are too small.
wheels are too
Yep.
small, the wheel pants are too low.
Mhm.
I can't get back over.
Well, so I'll keep that in mind, and anybody else who has an issue with that, make sure you email me or let me know tonight. I'm going to write that down on my notes, and we'll park you in one of these taxiway intersections here so that you don't have to do that. Even though I'll have this organized with plans for where people are going to park as they come up and stage for the departure on the AirTour, inevitably things are going to get clogged up a little bit, so don't be surprised if you see me or Lydia or Bill or another helper waving you with marshalling wands into one of these little sub-lanes down here. Okay, they're paved as well, the grass is in good shape. I'll be out there tonight and in the morning and Friday afternoon scouting to make sure that we have nice even ground. So if you have an airplane with wheel pants, we've also got Tom Kearns and his P-Rex coming up. He has the same issue, same concern, so we'll be careful with those airplanes. Good point. After you park your airplane, I'll talk about it in the next couple of slides, but we'll be taxiing out of Bravo 4. Right now, the weather looks good. The forecast looks good for Saturday. The forecast also says 10-knot breeze out of the northwest. So we'll be using runway 28 left. That's what we're going to hopefully coordinate with Tower, provided the wind is out of the northwest, to use 28 left for the AirTour. You'll taxi out of Bravo 4 on Bravo, cross Echo 36 Delta, and then be ready to take off at 28 left. Any questions on how to get to our staging area how to get out of our staging area. I'll talk about the taxi more in just a second. Pre-flight, so most of the pre-flight is going to be done at your hangar. And you'll be in the middle of the group of the 172, so you'll have time as people are starting up and launching, but you'll be able to do your walk around right there. So it'll be very similar to the last couple of years. It'll hopefully just be more organized, on this picture where we have you planning to park your airplane as you show up the stage. Taxiing out of the staging area, taxiing out of spring lane. Start your engine as soon as, or at the same time, or maybe even a minute before the airplane that's in front of you in the aircraft order form. And that's what's most important is the aircraft order on the form, all right? And some of you have seen the preliminary one that I put out there a couple of days ago that's got some of the airplanes signed up, just checking for errors. That's not the final aircraft order. We've got a bunch of airplanes that have joined since. That's only got 32 or some airplanes on it. It's most important that you follow the airplane that's in front of you listed on that sheet, not necessarily the airplane that's next to you on the taxiway. We may have had to park you out of order as you arrived into the staging area at 8:15 or 8:45 that morning just because things got busy, right? And we'll let you know if you're following this airplane that's 4 airplanes in front of you but you got parked out of order, we'll try and keep an eye on you, but you got to self-police on that. So make sure you know which airplane's in front of you so that you can kind of follow lockstep. Listen to the ATIS, program your GPS, be ready early, don't be late as you're starting your engine. It's always nice to have the airplane up and running and idling. You can get things set up, get the GPS set up, things like that. Do your run up in position. The way we're going to park people over there is going to be set up. We should be able to have everybody conduct the run up without prop blasting an airplane behind them. Maybe an exception or two to that, so we'll be careful there. But you should be able to complete your run up on spring lane before you call ground. This is non-standard. It's a little different for most of us. Some of you who are based in the northern hangar lanes who watched the run-up areas a couple of years ago are used to doing this anyway. It'll be very similar to that. Complete your run-up and be ready for takeoff, truly ready for takeoff, before you pull out on the spring lane and follow everybody out to Bravo 4. This is the same way we've done it in the past. So you'll be sitting there getting ready to go, do your run-up right here, and as you see the airplanes peel out that are listed on the aircraft order form in front of you, you peel out, follow them. They should have already completed their run-ups. They're going to call ground prior to reaching Bravo 4. Ground this is Cessna 12345 on spring lane, ready to taxi for a westbound departure with information Foxtrot. This is not a formation flight. Everybody is individual. We haven't had this problem since the very first AirTour because I wasn't very clear in that safety briefing. But it's not a formation flight. You can't just taxi out because the airplane in front of you is taxied out. You need an individual clearance from ground control. All right. I want to make sure that that's clear so I don't pose that up for somebody this year. The idea is that as you reach the departure end, or the approach end rather, of runway 28 left, so as you're taxiing up and you're getting to the hold sign, or the hold lines of runway 28 left, you've switched over to tower frequency, you're listening to tower, you'll hear the airplane in front of you on the aircraft order form, and hopefully if we got it right, physically on the taxiway, say, tower, this is Cessna 23456, ready to take off at 28 left. They'll clear for takeoff, and then you call up. This is Cessna 12345, ready for takeoff for runway 28 left. And we're going to hopefully be rolling around the corner, taking off. And they'll line you up and wait, and then clear you for takeoff. And line the next person up and wait, and clear you for takeoff. This is why the tower can be so efficient as to get airplanes out every 38 seconds, or whatever it typically is. I think our busiest year was also our smoothest year. 47 airplanes in 2014, and it took 42 minutes to get 47 airplanes off the ground. It was highly impressive. It was probably a better launch rate than they have at Minneapolis International. It truly was. They did a great job. So, any questions on taxiing out? It's going to be Bravo, probably cross 36. Make sure you're using proper phraseology. Nothing's different about taxiing and radio communications when you're on the AirTour. You are an individual airplane who happens to be really, really close to a bunch of other individual airplanes.
So since I'm the rabbit,
Yeah.
and I want to do it right, they said 8:30, right? And I heard about porta potties, coffee, happy hour, right?
Yep.
Does just so people get out of the plane, do this, what's the taxi over there, what's the routine that you guys normally do, and is there a time which, hey, be on the grid, let's go?
Good question. So I've got a little note, and again, I'll send these to you, but I've got a note here, be parked By 8:40, so please be pulling onto Spring Lane by about 8:45. That gives us 15 minutes to wave you those last couple of stragglers into position, because some folks show up. I'll be out there, by the way, at about 6:30.
Well, that's what I'm kind of getting at, but if you get there early though, are you staging early? What's the coffee porta potty thing?
Yeah, the coffee will be ready by 7. The porta potty's there on Thursday.
So you can go early if you want.
Yep, absolutely. You got to be there by 8:45. Earlier the better, because we tend to see a huge rush at 7:25 through about 7:50. Or I'm sorry, 8:25 through about 8:50. So we got to be there.
Just to get out, have coffee, social, whatever.
Exactly. The only downside is the mosquitoes are horrible right now, and they probably will be on Saturday. And it's probably going to be 50 degrees, so it might be a little chilly. But we'll have hot coffee. Yeah, the earlier the better. I appreciate all early arrivals. It's very, very helpful. So, but 8:45 is fine, and we'll get you into position. When that rush hits at about 8:35 or 8:40, that's when airplanes tend to get, maybe waved off and parked over here instead of whatever it says on the sheet of paper that I'll email you. So, good question. So yeah, get there as early as you like. I'll be out there very early. Get the coffee going. Any other questions for departing? Again, this may change to 10 right. If that's the case, I'll send you a heads up on Friday with the email. But right now, for the last 4 days, the prevailing wind forecast has been winds west-northwest. So all of these future slides are based on that assumption. It could change at this point on the schedule. Departing flight cloud, be ready for takeoff as soon as you reach the runway. Call the tower immediately upon arrival at the runway hold lines. You can listen on the runway as you cross. Let me go back to the airport diagram. As you cross Delta lane, don't do it before you cross Delta lane, because if tower has a problem, or if ground control has a problem with you crossing runway 36 and wants to stop you, you should be on ground control frequency. But after you cross Delta lane, please switch over to the tower frequency. Before you taxi out of your parking spot in Spring Lane, have tower preloaded in your standby frequency, assuming you have the luxury of one. Most of us do, I think. So switch over to tower here as you pass Delta. That'll give you a chance to hear 4 or 5 airplanes get cleared for takeoff as you're waiting to go. So, and again, folks who have flown with us, got a chance to see it last year. It works out great. You get an opportunity to see how quickly they're clearing folks. Don't call for takeoff before you hear the airplane in front of you call for takeoff, because the tower is overloaded as it is. They're not going to get out with binoculars and say, okay, this person called, but is there anybody in front of them? Make sure you wait until Cessna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls before you call if you're behind Cessna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that's normal practice when we're out flying here on a busy day. Most of us do this, but just a good reminder. Traffic permitting, westbound turn. We should be pretty much straight out going to Hutch, so I don't think there's going to be any turns. Climb to your assigned altitude. You'll have that altitude. It'll be anywhere from 2,000, maybe 2,300, 2,500, 2,700, 3,000, and similar type increments all the way up to as high as 4,500 feet. I do understand that those 4,500 footers may be conflicting with Class Bravo airspace. I may not put folks that high, but we may have folks at 4,000 feet. It could be a Class Bravo airspace concern, so you'll want to watch the Class Bravo airspace until you can climb to that final altitude. I will include an asterisk and a note and all that. It will be clear that this is not a Class Bravo airspace clearance, just because Ben put it on something. I do that for myself, but they don't give me that authority for my instructor said so. We're not going to do air-to-air communications this year. Previously, actually, every air tour up to this point, we've had air-to-air communications, so we can all talk, have fun, make reports. We're going to have time this year. This is going to be probably the most action-packed air tour we've had, with very short legs and several of them. So no air-to-air comm this year. As soon as you're 5 or 10 miles from Flying Cloud Airport, you're out of the airspace. Trust me, they don't care about you anymore, because there's 30 airplanes behind you waiting to take off. So go ahead and switch over to AWAS or ASOS, whatever it's called out in Hutchinson. Listen to the weather out there. And then switch over to CTAP. I would recommend it early, especially if you're back in the pack. You're 2/3 of the way back. You get a chance to hear just how rattled the voices are of all the airplanes flying in front of you. But the big thing is, be ready for extended downwinds. You'll be able to hear people saying, I'm extending about 2 miles. And then, 5 minutes later, okay, it's about 3 miles. And 5 minutes after that, I'm about 4 miles of my extended downwind. You get a chance to hear that. It's no worse than a busy fly-in for those of you folks who have done busy fly-ins, pancake breakfasts and things. But it's nice to have a 20-mile heads up to that. rather than switching over 6 miles out because you're behind the ball. So no air-to-air communications this year. I understand if we have some formation flying, we'll have a little bit of formation chatter on their own discrete frequency. That'll be for them. We're not going to mess with that. So questions on the departure plan? Get out of the way. Go ahead. All right. Kid Fox not flying with us this year, unfortunately. En route, be prepared for your next arrival. Standard reports on CTAP. I'm 10 miles out, I'm 3 miles out, I'm overflying and joining the left downwind. I'll talk about that downwind thing in just a second. It will be busy. This is a neat snapshot from somebody, I forget who emailed it to me. It might have been Keith Scholl, I think, but they had the Stratus, the cool Stratus box in the back of their airplane, and then just took a screenshot of their iPad running Preflight, and that's the bomb drop zone right there. You see a couple of airplanes pointed the wrong way, that's because they just dropped at the target and then they're turning out. And that worked beautifully. You guys all did a phenomenal job last year, and this year will be less demanding than that, so we won't be quite as tight. And that was a lot of fun. But a string of airplanes, I can't even count them going all the way to the top here. That's what it's going to look like. ATC loves it. You know, we work with them every year and they enjoy it. It's fun to see. Hopefully it doesn't get postponed today because as it is, we're flying on September 10th. And that's one of the reasons that we notify, even last year we notified local law enforcement that we would have multiple airplanes flying to a non-FAA airport because of concerns like that. So if you have any issues, let me know. Maintain your assigned altitude until it's time to descend into the traffic pattern, unless otherwise necessary, and please watch for other airplanes. You guys will see in the aircraft order an airplane called Pterodactyl Rex. That's what this is. That's because that guy built it, and he can call it whatever the heck he wants when you build an airplane that cool. So when you see that, it's a biplane that looks like this. Hutchinson. As we approach Hutchinson, overfly midfield. Maybe a little bit different than what you typically prefer to do, but this will set a standard so that everybody goes to the same place in a predictable fashion. We're not going to try and go to the far end of the runway. I'd like you to fly over midfield. And the midfield is so that, understand, if you're halfway back in the pack and you're on downwind, Clint has already taken off out of Hutch. He's already gotten his car, taken off, and snuck out, and he's on his way to New Ulm. Okay? So if you're halfway back, there's going to be airplanes taking off. And as they take off, I don't want them climbing into an airplane on the departure end of the runway that's crossing over to join it downwind. I want you crossing over midfield. The safest place for you to be when you're overflying an airport is right over the middle of it, right, at a high altitude. So you're going to be at pattern altitude, which is 1,900 feet. If you're at 2,000, fine. If you're at 1,800, fine. That's how big it is. Across midfield, so that we have geographic predictability. After you land, and this is one of the luxuries that is built into the AirTour this year, we have something that we haven't had in years on the AirTour. Everywhere we go, we have taxiways. For those of you folks who remember, somebody made a comment about Spirit Lake, right? And even Madeline Island last year got, it worked out well, but it got busy. There's no taxiways. We have taxiways this year. It's going to be awesome. Absolutely a piece of cake. So normally people are, diving off of runways as airplanes are trying to land. So as you clear the runway, just join the taxiway. It should be a piece of cake. Roll to the end. Stop early. Clear. Doesn't matter. Just try to stay behind the airplane you're supposed to stay behind. And what I mean by that is, let's say the airplane that landed in front of you is in front of you on the aircraft order sheet. They landed long, for whatever reason, no big deal. You landed short, for whatever reason, no big deal. Right? Don't budge in line. All right? Hold clear of that runway until that airplane taxis past you and then rejoin. Even though you have an opportunity to really cut somebody off. Especially if you're in a 182 and they're in a 182 and you just want to prove the point. I get it, but stay in order. Departing Hutch. So here's how it's going to work. Yeah.
Did you really mean to say after landing taxi on the parallel taxiway for takeoff? Because you're not going to take off on the parallel taxiway.
For takeoff.
It kind of reads like we want to take off. On
is this an English teacher kind of a thing?
I just want to make sure we're not taking
For
off.
takeoff on the parallel. Yeah, it's good enough. I'm not going to change it.
We're not taking off on the.
No, we're not taking off on the parallel.
No high-speed tag.
Got it right.
All right.
So what's the parking going to look like at that?
What's the part? Good question. I'll get to that in a second. Somebody had a question over here? Yeah, Wolf.
For the midfield crossing,
Yeah.
do you think it would be better to use traffic pattern or like maybe 500 feet above?
I think it would be better to use traffic pattern. The reason is it's predictable spacing. All right. Some people may be at traffic pattern out. So Walter's question is, why don't we cross midfield at pattern plus 500, which would be a typical way to do it, right? And I agree with that. In this case, if you're at pattern plus 500, this person in front of you is at pattern plus 200, and they're reducing the power to dive down, but you normally don't do that when you descend, and you choose to just tip the nose over, you can gain a mile on that person just on that half of a downwind leg. So this sets us up to manage the descent prior to the airport. When we hit the airport, we kind of know our spacing already, based on our communication. So very good point, and it's a bit non-standard. Some people cross midfield at pattern altitude, and that's, some people were trained that way, and that's fine. So this offers that predictability. I'm glad you asked that. Any other questions on this before we talk about ground operations? Bill?
Well, I guess this is ground operations. Do we have to shut down?
Good question. All right. So to answer Guy's question and Bill's question, what do we do when we get on the ground and touch prior to taking off? We aren't shutting down, and we aren't parking. So parking is a piece of cake. Ain't no parking. No shutting down. This is assuming the wind's out of the northwest. So we're going to cross over. We're going to be coming from flying cloud. We're going to be, follow the red dot. We're going to be flying in from the east, cross over midfield, pattern altitude, turn downwind, follow the airplanes in front of you, base, final, land, clear, probably somewhere down here for most of us. Some of us might make it here. A few talented folks will get off here. And formations will probably roll. Not a big deal. Doesn't matter. But where you clear, start taxiing down the runway. The very first airplane to leave is actually not going to be Clint. It's going to be a head start airplane. Brad and Christy are going to launch first. All right, so get your shirts early. She's got to go. Her limo awaits. So Brad and Christy are going to launch early in the 172, right? All right, so you'll need an extra 5 minutes. Yeah, all right. That's too bad. I'm sorry. But somebody's got to make the rest of this look good. So Brad and Christy are going to land. None of us are going to see that. They're going to beat Clint there by probably 10 minutes. They're going to land. Christy's going to set them down here kind of wherever she wants and feel safe to get some great shots of airplanes landing, touching down. And Brad's going to be sitting somewhere around here. You'll see his 172 parked, probably over by, these are like open wall T protected hangar things, like carports, right? They don't have walls on them as back-to-back T hangars. Brad will be parked over here. He'll be standing out there somewhere. He'll wave his arm to you as you taxi by. Slow down. If Brad wants you to cut the engine, he'll give you the kill the engine sign. But if Brad's comfortable, and if you're comfortable, he'll walk behind your wing. He'll walk behind your wing. You go open your door, your little storm window, or whatever access you have, without compromising safety in a moving propeller. He'll hand you your playing card, or 2 or 3. Give him 3 playing cards if you need 3, because you got. You're playing 3 hands yourself, you cheater, or you got an extra couple of people in the cabin of the airplane.
So give the signal.
Give the signal. If it's just one, use the pointer finger, please.
Number cards are $5, race cards.
Will it come from pilot side?
The nice thing is, at each of these spots, I thought about hiring a local high school kid or a helper, the line guy at the local airport at each of these places and giving them $20 to do this for us. But having a pilot who's part of the group do this, I think is much safer. They understand how it's going. So they'll approach, I'll say from the pilot side, but in Clint's case, you may be more comfortable having him come up on the co-pilot side because that's where you're going, right? You've got the whiskey hatch, but he's got to lean way over that wing. Yeah, so same thing with Hudbert. So he'll come from the co-pilot side, Brad gets it.
Baron, what's the easiest way to get your cards to you?
We'll probably have the door open on the co-pilot side.
Okay.
So it might be the aft door, or it might be the pilot's co-pilot side door.
Okay.
I don't know how many people are going to have it.
The key here is don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to get your card. Brad won't be in a hurry to hand you your card. You're going to be stopped, holding the brakes, at idle, and please throttle all the way down. So you're only turning 700 RPM or whatever, so Brad's not, getting knocked over.
I'm playing a 52 card pickup.
Wear cargo pants. That would be fun to watch.
Or more importantly, if you buy it yourself, is the plane in front of you?
I'm sorry?
Don't lean too far outside the plane if you buy it yourself. Your full brakes kind of go in.
Yeah, in fact, that's a very good point. You should be able to just reach. So in the case of the Bonanza, if you don't have anybody with you, just reach across and Brad will kind of kneel on your wing walk.
Come in,
Yep.
more, because otherwise, you know, it's gonna be a mess.
Yep, so throttle way back and just take your time. So, yep.
Do we have to worry about egg operations and any of these? Because 2 weekends ago was nuts and nuts.
Yeah, and we've coordinated with Tim Ashenfelter, who runs ASI Jet out there and has eggs. So he's gotten our email. I send out a separate letter that you guys don't see to ATC, airport managers, anybody affected. And he's got that. I talked to him back in May about this. He understands, and he said, yeah, that should be just fine if we're busy. You know, we'll know what's going on. So, yeah, that may present itself as a challenge, but they may take, you know, generally they're not going to be spraying if it's a 15-mile wind too, which is fine. So, yeah, so I'll follow up with him on Friday and see what their prognosis is for that. The benefit of this, even though we're not going fast, even though we're taking our time, you can imagine how much worse of a mess we'd be getting into if we shut down and parked in all these spots. It would be a disaster. So we will have challenges with the keep it moving mindset, but I think it's the best option. You know, with respect to a poker review. Any other questions about Hutch? The profile at Hutch, by the way, is pretty much not going to change. New Ulm, same runway, parallel taxiway, dude standing next to the taxiway giving you your card. Mankato, same runway, runway 33, same thing, parallel taxiway all the way back, this time on the left, and somebody sitting on the runway, you know, waiting to give you your card. So the way we're going to set up the people, you know, handing out the cards, Brad's going to leave first, Brad and Christy are going to leave first, Brad's going to hand you your card. Brad's going to be stuck in Hutchinson, he doesn't know this yet, he's going to be stuck in Hutchinson until Alan rolls through in the Telegraph.
Why did you eat for dinner?
Bring it along.
When Alan rolls through, Brad, you're going to take off and you're probably going to be leapfrogging the Taylor craft and a few of the slower airplanes, the Air Coupe and some of the early generation 172s. So you'll be going a little faster, not much, but you may skip through an airplane. He's already taken out his spare oil and everything in his life as possible. And so Clint, you're going to be the first. You won't be the first airplane to arrive in Hutch because Brad will be there first, but you'll be the first airplane to arrive in New Ulm. When you get to New Ulm, I'm going to send you with a whole stack of cards, decks of cards, and you're going to shut down similar. So in New Ulm, you're going to shut down. Let's see, you're going to land on 3-3. You can shut down on this taxiway right here. All right.
Hog the taxiway by the patties.
Hog the taxiway, because we're not going to have anybody that needs to use that taxiway. This is a displaced threshold.
You want me to not hog the taxiway, because people have to go through them handing out cards, right?
Yeah, so go ahead, so you're going to land, you'll probably clear the runway here,
Okay.
taxi back, and then just pull on right here and shut down holding short of the runway. Because that way when you're done,
Right.
and I come to leave you, you just pull onto the runway and go. 5,400 feet, you should have plenty left. Or you could back.
I can sit there for the whole thing and then swing it up.
Well, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to hop into probably the third or fourth airplane that takes off. And then when you get down there, I'll hop out. And then, Alan, do you have anybody flying with you this year?
No.
I'll hop in with you for the remainder of the stops. All right. And you'll have to listen to me and my payback for grammatical corrections. So that's kind of the plan. And then whoever, I don't know exactly who it is yet, whoever's behind Clint, but I believe it's going to be the T-34s, and they may be flying together with the Navions, we'll see. But that group is going to park in Mankato and do the same thing that Brad had done in Hutch, that Clint had done in New Ulm. They're going to be doing that in Mankato. And there's two benefits to that. One, there's more room in Mankato for a couple of T-34s to park. There's kind of a nice big open taxiway area where they all come together. And two, when we get to Owatonna, they might treat us to a nice, 1,000 foot above the ground T-34 formation flyby. 1,000 feet, 105 knots.
Yeah, right.
So, questions about New Ulm? This is New Ulm, right? Yeah. Any questions about New Ulm? Nice long runway, parallel taxiway, piece of cake, Clint's waiting to hand you. What?
What if somebody wants to get out of their plane and get a stamp on their passport?
Good question. You'll end up kind of being out of line the whole way. Do you need to stamp up all of this?
Nope, well.
Just New Ulm. What's that?
What if you know somebody was me?
Because Alan already got the jacket. That's all.
You can actually call the DOT and they'll send you a stamp.
Well, that's boring.
Cause you'll have a picture of the aircraft.
Yeah, we
Put it in your
actually
logbook.
signed our book, cause you got a log and this is supposedly, you know, legit when you sign your logbook, hey, I went here, 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 and here, so if you call you a liar.
Laura, if you want, you can clear the runway and then taxi up to the ramp in New Ulm there, and park at New Ulm Flight Service and walk inside and get a stand, all right? The only challenge for you then is just getting back in line. You won't be in order for the whole rest of the flight. Your gag will have left you behind, and that's okay. Just be careful, and I'll recommend that you fly 500 feet above the highest airplane, anywhere in there, so that as you overtake 172s and Taylorcrafts and Aircrews, you're not, same altitude. Because they won't be able to see you. So that won't be a problem. Understand, exercise extreme caution as you're leapfrogging on the way into Mankato. And that will probably be this, because you won't catch up in Mankato. As you land in Mankato, your fellow 182s will be descending for all the time. So, not a problem, just be very, very careful. Maybe even sidestep from the route by a mile or two to the north or to the south. Rich?
I just want to be clear, we're not stacking up, right? We're doing arrivals and departures at the same time?
Good question. So, and I've got this listed on each of these slides for the departing. So I've got arriving New Ulm and then departing New Ulm. And grammatical errors. So, departing New Ulm, we will... what we plan to do is take it off on 3-3. We're not going to sit. So Rich's question was, as we land, is in Hutch, for example, our first landing, is Clint, then the first one there, going to have to wait for an hour for Ellen in the Taylorcraft to finally land and taxi up behind him? And the answer is no. Clint's going to land. He's going to grab his card. Brad's going to get out of the way. Clint's going to taxi out to 3-3, and he's going to launch as soon as he's got a hole on final approach. As Clint tries to launch, and this is going to be the same case for all of us, I'm just using Clint as an example. It's going to be just like flying out of Bear Lake on a busy Sunday, where you've got an airplane that just landed, and that one looks maybe a little bit close, he's a mile out, but the one behind it is just turning base. I think as this one lands, I'll be able to sneak out behind number 2 and number 3. So, very good question, Rich. I didn't mention that. It is on these slides as you review them on Friday. But the main key there is not necessarily getting out. We can all do that comfortably and safely. The key to your departure is understanding how traffic is approaching and flying into the pattern and departing in a manner that allows you to stay clear. New Ulm as an example, and again, this is all written down on these slides that you guys will have a copy of. New Ulm as an example, we're going to fly at pattern altitude directly into a left downwind. So you're going to have your altitude from Hutch to New Ulm. You're going to have 3,500 feet, for example, if that's assigned to you on the aircraft order form, just like previous years. You're going to descend at your discretion to reach pattern altitude by the time you join the traffic pattern, right? So as you're flying from Hutch southbound to New Ulm, it's going to be very convenient for you to just fly straight into a full-length left downwind for runway 33, and just bend around the airport and fly southeastbound on the left downwind for 33. Okay. Understand that while Clint's watching people do this, as he's getting ready to depart, he's going to take off and make a shallow climb, which is fun on a Bonanza because you get to go 200 miles an hour as you climb, right? Race the gear and then make a very shallow turn so that you're really peeling away from the traffic pattern. Make wide turns to get away from the traffic pattern and shallow climbs initially until you're 3 miles from the airport and then you can climb like normal. So does that make sense? That's the same program we ran with kind of our backwards S to the target drop last year. If anybody remembers that, we came around the north side of the target drop, we flew southbound, dropped the target, and then made a sweeping right-hand turn back on course. Very, very similar to that, and it worked beautifully. Calvin, you have it? Okay. All right.
Is it mostly a lights on deal if you got them kind of?
If you got lights, strobes, landing lights, everything, yeah, more lights the better. Yep, good question. Any other questions about New Ulm? Showing up or getting out? All right. Airport diagram, Mankato. Arriving Mankato, we're going to fly straight into kind of a 45-degree midfield left downwind, right? That classic out of the aeronautical information manual downwind entry, 45 degrees to midfield. Because we're coming from the west, and we're going to be landing on runway 33, it's a perfect setup. So fly straight in to the left downwind 33, be at pattern altitude by the time you join that downwind. Land on 33. After landing, taxi clear. This one's a left turn off of the runway. Taxi back, grab your 4th poker card. So that would probably be from one of the T-34 folks. grab your poker card, taxi out, take off, head for Owatonna. As you take off on a 3-3, so we're coming from New Ulm on this one, coming in this direction, 45-degree midfield downwind, runway 33, base, final, land on 33, clear here, grab your card from the T-34, you'll probably see them parked there, there's kind of an open space on that taxiway. You don't turn in there and let the T-34s be parked there, you just keep on going straight, don't turn, that'll take you back to runway 33, alright? The airport managers notified Mankato State University flight operations that we're going to be there with a big crowd during their school hours. So,
And then expect Mankato State traffic, they're usually good about reporting, but they'll be training all day.
yep, yeah, there'll be airplanes there all day, and we're in contact with those folks as well. So they'll know if there's any good time to have a lull in their schedule, it'll be Saturday from 9:30 until 11 o'clock. So,
Can you guys make a request?
what's that?
Can you guys make a request?
Yeah.
So, it's not gonna happen to anybody, but because somebody gets too tight, on 40-some planes, and somebody needs to go around. If we're climbing out shallow left, and they're coming to speed on a go-around, could they maybe make a right turn to go around and get the hell out of there?
Yeah. Pilots just
And you get out of the top of the runway, go right. So then we go.
it's sidestep.
Yeah.
It's a very good question, and we tend to have about 2 go-arounds every year. So I don't know if we had any of that on last year because it was a long leg to provide separation.
Yeah, you just want to cluster with the planes coming out in the shallow left.
Exactly, yeah. So as you climb out, don't get to 500 feet in a 1,800 foot per minute climb rate in your Bonanza and then just honk it into a 35-degree turn to the left and say, I'm on left crosswind, good luck everybody. So yeah, be careful, climb out. You know, I might even recommend climb out straight ahead or sidestep to the right.
Left.
Whatever pilot's discretion on that, whatever you feel is safe, and then work with other traffic. Say, okay, I see a Cessna out there, it's red. I'm going to pull in behind the red Cessna, and somebody will say, okay, I see you turning. It tends to work out very, very well. But it can be hectic in the pattern, especially, and that's not to discourage anybody from doing a go-around. Please go around if it's not a perfect approach, because it's worse than the or better than the alternative. So just understand after a go-around, you got to get your head back on the swivel and get up ready. Other questions or points? So Mankato, 45 midfield, left downwind runway 33, normal pattern from there, get your card, take off, and then a nice shallow climb, still full power, but keep the nose down a little bit. You go a little faster and climb a little slower. And a nice sweeping right-hand turn over to Owatonna. Okay? For Owatonna, again, fly directly into a 45-degree left downwind runway 30. It'll be our first runway for landing that day. That's not runway 33. Pattern altitude is about 2,000 feet. After landing, taxi clear the runway and taxi onto the ramp. We're parking in the main ramp area. It's a pretty good sized ramp. Plenty of asphalt, but we have overflow parking. You can park in the grass or anywhere else. What I ask you do not do is, double park in front of another AirTour airplane or a resident airplane down there, and don't park in front of one of their hangar doors. Somebody might see all the action and say, this looks like fun, I want to go flying around the pattern for a couple of laps, but I can't open my door because there's a Cessna. So just be very nice about how you treat the locals. Grab your 5th poker card. As you taxi up, somebody will be there. I haven't figured out exactly who it's going to be yet, but whoever gets there first is going to kind of keep track of things. And as you taxi up, you grab your 5th poker card, show them your hand, and then if it's not better, you can throw it away. But if you have the best hand, they'll write your name on it, hold that card, and until somebody else comes up with a better hand, they're going to hold on to that with your name on it so we know who you get the oil to. Questions about Owatonna? Pretty straightforward. Going to be flying in from the west, 45-degree midfield left downwind, runway 30, downwind base, final land, clear the runway, and taxi back. Main ramp area over here. You got plenty of room to park if you have issues. Feel free to park kind of in this grass area here. They also run gliders. I don't know that mid-September is a popular time for gliders, but you may see some glider operations going over here. I believe they run that. So. Any other questions about Owatonna? All right. Parking. Bring your tow bar with. If you have to move your airplane and make tight turns on the ground, unless you're all alone out there, prefer you to shut the airplane down and then turn it with a tow bar. There's going to be a lot of people out there. Just ask for help. We don't want you prop blasting other airplanes, runners, and elevators, prop blasting people. Especially if there's any sand or anything like that on that main ramp area there in Owatonna. This will be the first time we shut down, so have your tow bar with you, make tight turns with the tow bar, please. Make sure your magnetos are off, don't get caught up in all the activity, follow your checklists, so all the things you normally do. Sounds easy, but it's very easy to forget as well. Lunch. So we're going to have the shuttle bus. I don't know how many of you folks have done the Cabela's lunch. It's pretty cool. If you land and call them, they'll send the shuttle bus over to pick you up and drive you over to Cabela's. It's financially worth their while, so don't worry about that, typically. We're going to try and get that shuttle bus to drive back and forth to pick people up and run them. It's about a mile walk, so it's not a horrible walk. We'll park right here. This is a frontage road. You do not have to walk on Interstate 35. This is a frontage road, and it's about a mile to a mile and a quarter walk, which may be a nice, it should be 67, 68 degrees down there at that time. Should be a beautiful day for walking if you don't mind. The shuttle bus will be going back and forth to help as well and haul people a little bit. I don't know where the restaurant is in Cabela's, but it was upstairs. It's easy to find, and they know where you're. Questions or comments about Owatonna? This picture I love to show. This is from several years ago, but if you get in a pinch, parking gets tight in Owatonna, make it up as you go along. In this case, Craig Nelson parked his kid box in the normal parking spot, but Dave really took the lead and parked right behind him, and everybody behind Dave in the aircraft order said, "This is going to look cool on a picture in 5 years." So get creative. Don't worry about anything like that. But bring your tow bar with you. You need to turn it prior to departing. Go ahead. Departing Owatonna, leave at your own pace. We're not running in aircraft order departing Owatonna. You don't have to follow. The air tour basically ends at Owatonna, I guess is what I'm saying. We're not following assigned altitudes out of Owatonna. If you're done with lunch earlier, if you want to hang out late and buy some stuff from Cabela's, or you just want to watch a bunch of airplanes in the corner, it doesn't matter. For those of you folks that have flown on the air tour before, it's always just kind of a loose ragtag, happens over the course of a couple hours. People leave whatever pace they want to leave, and it works out wonderfully. We have several airplanes flying in, and therefore at the end going back to other metro airports, South St. Paul, Anoka County, Bristol, Air Lake. So not everybody's going to converge on flying south. It tends to work very well. I recommend that you maintain communication on Owatonna CTAF for a good 20 miles after you depart Owatonna prior, and at that point you're starting to see Prior Lake, prior to flipping over and listening to Flying Cloud Datas. The reason for that is if you're in a tailorcraft and you hear T-34s take off 6 miles behind you, know that those T-34s are going to catch you and say, "Hey, T-34s, I'm a yellow tailorcraft, I just took off, I'm 7 miles to the north, I'm at 2,000 feet, I'll stay here. Please don't hit me." Okay? So stay on CTAF a while. We're not going to have air-to-air communications again this year, so stay on CTAF prior to switching over to Flying Cloud Data. So you'll be on CTAF a little bit long. It's kind of fun too because you get a little bit of post-air tour chatter. John?
Minnesota RV Builders Club is having their fly-in at Webster.
Okay.
So on your way home, just be aware of that, because there's a lot of planes coming in and out of there.
Especially Air Lake folks. So Webster's right off of I-35. So as you fly north from Owatonna, you'll fly right over Webster.
It's not far out, right? Yeah, 22.9 if you want to listen.
Yep.
That's just terrible. So.
Good heads up. The other thing too, if you do want to hang out in Owatonna for a while, don't hang out too long. The NOTAM hasn't been published yet, but the local newspaper is going to be there as well. I forgot to mention that in Owatonna. So, comb your hair, brush your teeth, kind of a deal. You may end up in the Owatonna newspaper. And they're going to do some interviews, and they know we're just there to have fun. So tell them about having fun in airplanes. I don't know who they're going to interview. The gal that I believe is going to be there, her name is Ashley Stewart. And for those of you on previous air tours, it's typical. We usually have a local newspaper covering one of our stops at least. So, she mentioned to me that there's like a 5K on the runway later that night. So their airport manager said our air tour is not going to be an issue, but if you want to stay, plan to leave before something like 4 o'clock or maybe 8 a.m. on Sunday. So for those of you folks who haven't done this before, I'll send out that email on Friday with a go or no-go decision based on the weather, which is both all ceiling visibility and wind. Especially with the tailorcraft, if the Avid goes flying, wind is a consideration, and even if you're flying a 182 and you don't do a lot of crosswinds, I understand that I don't want to throw you out there into a 12-duck crosswind component. That's not fun, okay? And we've done that in the past, and it's not a good time. In fact, some folks drop out just because they don't want to take that on, and that's not the point of this. The wind looks higher on Sunday, and it looks, I think, 10 knots, pretty much in line with all of our runways. on Saturday is the forecast. So I think we're in good shape. Any other questions, concerns? Brett?
Contacts in Newell, both are 1228, so when you're making your traffic calls, those two, make sure you remember your Hutchinson traffic, Newell traffic.
Yeah.
So that we know, we're not looking for the Taylor traffic on final, that's Newell.
Right, that's a good point. So again, standard phraseology and you know, and normal radio calls for all these CPAPs. This is going to be, for those of you folks showing up in the first wave in New Ulm, it's still going to be busy on the radio for Hutch. Right? So yeah, be careful there. You thought that picture got lost over the last. It did.
I don't know how you still find it.
Yeah, it's still here. It's in some IT bank. It'll never go. So,
Does that mean kick you out of the airplane?
Please.
So, if anybody has a question, please feel free to email me or call me. You know, this will be most of my focus over the next couple of days is final prep. Otherwise, we will plan to see you. You'll get an email from me on Friday prior to noon, and we'll plan to see you by 8:45 on Spring Lane on Saturday morning. So if you have any other notes, please grab me. I'm taking notes of things I've got to fix in this prior to Saturday, and that's it. You'll also get a YouTube link so that you can review this if you have more questions. So, thanks, guys.